Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
How are we doing today?
Hi guys.
Resma, remind me, is it's late for you or
Fine.
just early evening?
This is late. It's night, 7:30 here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, since this is the last meeting of the year before Christmas, I was thinking about having my background be Christmassy. But then, when I turn my camera, this is where I'm actually sitting.
Oh my goodness.
So that
Wow.
is
It's
the
very
view I
nice.
have with the dog down there.
Gotta have the dog.
So that's my little festive spirit that I just wanted to share with you.
Very nice. Mm. Okay. So I'm just working on getting things loaded up, but it looks like we are still waiting on a few others here. So Jordan, have you had a chance to look at anything on the developer advocate side of things?
I have not looked on that side of things.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I've also not looked at Discord in a while. I'll catch up here in a little bit.
Did you open Discord and it went ding, 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 ding?
I'm doing that right now. Let me go mute before here.
We're still reviewing the applicants for developer advocates, right?
No. For maintainer retainer, yes, but for developer advocate, no. They've already been selected. They've actually completed their first quarter at this point. So the man, the myth, the legend hath joined.
Hello. Oh, but my internet went out.
Tex, is there like a transcript for the spotlight?
Yes, there is. And it is already available. I will move it for you now. The recording will take some time, but the transcript is here.
In the shared drive?
Sorry?
Is it in the shared drive?
Not exactly. I will get you the link.
Okay.
Because it's an OSC deliverable, I placed it differently. But I will check because I think I shared that folder with you guys.
I forgot that was enabled. Actually, There you go. Can you all hear me okay? Hello, 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 hello.
Oh, good. Yeah, hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, cool. This headset is very spotty.
Harun, I'm dropping it in your DM.
Hey, Georg, Sebastian, Jordan, Reshma, everyone. And I guess
Hello.
Tex. So I think you're leading the session today, right, Tex?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is more of a year wrap up and then pick back up in Jan. Unless everyone feels like being overachievers while on holiday.
No. We got to check in. We got to get some stuff going here.
I feel like an overachiever for this 1 hour that we are here right now. So let's get going.
Yeah. Yeah, we're already 6 past. I'll hand it over to you, Tex.
Yeah, sorry, just a second.
Not that I had it to begin with.
Okay, I apologize. Done a million things at once as per usual. So, just for the sake of the recording and everybody, welcome to the Open Source Committee meeting for December 18th, 2025, the final meeting of 2025. It's been a big year, so hopefully each and every one of you has had a chance to be along for the ride. If you haven't, we're glad that you're here now. We're excited to see what we do in 2026. So, Elaine is not with us right currently and has mentioned that she's become a little bit overloaded. So we're going to be providing a little bit more support from the open source office side of things. But if you guys have more questions, thoughts, or additional feedback, then feel free to let us know at any point. Christian, when do we normally send out the reviews? Is that at like end of term or?
For, you mean like for us?
Yes.
It's gonna be annual basis, so we'll do it again, probably May, April, something like that. That'll also give cadence for new people or the new members to get more well acquainted with us.
Perfect. And some context there, basically, as part of the strategy for the open source committee, part of the remit or wherewithal is that we have asked, and the committee at one point has agreed and seems to continually have agreed that it's an important thing for reviews to be provided for ourselves as open source office staff. That way we know that we are doing not only a good job, but that we're actually being helpful in contributing to what the committee is trying to get done. So we'll table that for later, but that will come up. Okay, I've shared an agenda, so I guess we'll get right to it here. I believe we only have Harun in the room at this time. So Harun, if you could give us kind of a closing update for developer advocates as of right now.
Okay. This has been our this is the end of our first quarter. I'm happy to report that all the milestones for the first quarter have been met by all the developer advocates. The past 2 weeks have just been people rushing to close out the final milestones. I think the only one that is left is one spotlight that Tex, I think you said you would handle. Other than that, it has been a very eventful first quarter. We had like weekly meetings with the other developer advocates. We have a WhatsApp link that we communicate on a regular basis just to align on the projects. We have there's cohesion between us, I would say, like that is the biggest outcome. The four of us now know how to work with each other very well. We consult with each other and we help each other. So from my perspective, I think that would be the biggest takeaway. The biggest takeaway for this first quarter has been the cohesion between the team members, and that's what has helped us at least achieve all the milestones. Initially, they seemed a bit overwhelming from myself and also other advocates, but then given Tex's guidance and more so the way it was organized in the advocates, in the developer advocates, what is it called, program, it helped at least streamline the tasks in a more easy to understand and digestible way. Yep. So that's all I have for this quarter, and thanks, guys. Unless any of you have any questions.
No questions from my side. Thank you for the update.
Sorry, talking away on mute here. Thanks for filling the void. Uche, I noticed that you just joined. Did you have any final thoughts ending the quarter, ending the year here from a developer advocate perspective?
Well, I think from my end, so far it's been an amazing experience. The support that you, Tex, and also from the OSC has been giving us has been, tremendous, so that has been super, super helpful. Thankfully, the way the program was structured, it kind of enabled us to collaborate between ourselves, which was super nice. Because I think if it was done solo, it would have been a little bit chaotic. But the good thing is, there is collaboration, within us, the developer advocates, so which kind of made the execution of, our milestones, a bit easier. So far, I think it's been an amazing experience. I'm looking forward to, smashing those goals for next year. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll kind of try to skip this a little bit for later, so I'll knock this out of the way now. If you guys are not following along for whichever reason, you guys as a committee members do have access to the developer advocate internal channel at this point. So I encourage you to kind of keep an eye on what's going on there. That's where the developer advocates are encouraged to communicate, but it's where I primarily communicate with them as well. And it looks like there was a gentle nod to move in this direction, but the developer experience working group that we have going, it's primarily led by the developer advocates. I've offered to change up the hosts. So for Q4, we had Emmanuel and Uche who are running our early session, and Dan and Haroon who are running the late session. So again, we'll kind of do some more coordination on this and see if any of the cadence will change, but the trajectory is possibly to have Emmanuel and Haroon work together on the early session, then Dan and Uche taking the late session. And then in Q2, we'll have Uche and Haroon, and then Dan and Emmanuel. Basically what that's going to do with the 4 developer advocates, I figured out just the other day in the back of my head, I said, hey, we have an opportunity for each of them to partner up and have a different partner for each quarter for those developer experience working groups. So that way we kind of keep that perspective fresh, but we still get the input from each and every one of them. So if any committee members have any issues or questions about that, please do let us know, because this is, again, your budget item. But my hopes is that would be agreeable at the very least, and a good improvement to the program while we are amidst pulling it through. So, okay, the next thing I have on here is committee member statuses. So my big question with this here, or the big ask, I put this as an update or the general agenda in the open source committee chat. I had put here, please come prepared with information regarding how you are or how you plan to contribute. So don't really want to single anybody out, but if each of you could kind of just grab a hand and volunteer and speak to how you're contributing currently, and if you have any blockers, how I can help alleviate that and make sure that we're seeing your contributions as a committee member. Jarek.
Yeah, I'm happy to go first. I am currently focusing on the maintainer retainer program. Earlier this year, built out the dashboard for tracking the activity of the selected maintainers once we have them. I was in one of the interviews earlier this week, so involved a little bit in the selection process. I think Sebastian was way more involved in that than I have been. Reviewing documents, I've been reviewing documents throughout the year as we're coming up with policies, giving my input on those, and that's what's coming top of mind. And then going forward, I still want to continue to build out this program now that we have the candidates and bring them on board, help support them, and figure out how we need to evolve the project or the program as we learn how they're working. So that's kind of where I see myself. And then of course I'm happy to support the other programs as well. That's just the one I would like to keep my focus on.
Thank you. Sebastian?
Yeah, hi everybody. From my side, I'm involved in the maintainer retainer, attending interviews and doing documentation about the reviewing the interviews and giving my some comments about the applicants, the whole process. My plan going forward is to keep my participation in that process, supporting the developers, the non-maintainers, and keep and keeping trace of the activity in the program. Also, I'm involved in the Turing Sustainability Working Group. We are working on. We are in the first stages of welcoming projects that want to be involved in the program. So I think tomorrow we have a meeting and we will check some new demo for a new project. Going forward next year, I hope to keep in touch with that group and contribute to it. Also, next year, I'm waiting for the studying of the two programs, the acceleration program. The acceleration is in course for is functioning is working this year, but next year we will receive more applicants and more projects. So I would like to be contributing to that. And also next year starts the Code for Us program. So in Q1, so I'll be there supporting that project. And open to collaborate with Elaine. I understand that she's a little bit overwhelmed with some other activities, so I can support some work from that in that area. Yeah, that's it for the moment. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you. Yep. Go ahead, Reshma.
Hi. Actually, I'm newbie here, so I just started. I have reviewed the 2025 developer experience survey form and shared some feedbacks on that and some questions I have added. And actually, I'm good at reviewing the documents. reviewing the documents, repro reviews, proposals, reports, and structured feedback. I'm technically strong, so I can evaluate feasibility, scope, risk, and alignment with Cardano standards. And I'm not good at live interviews or long verbal discussions because I'm not good at communication level skill. I'm still working on it. That's it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. Jordan and Bernard.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep. So going into 2026, my goals being a part of the open source committee is to help support the tooling working group, get through applications and work with applicants that do apply. I'd also like to be a participant in some of the Intersect promotional events, attending conferences and helping support in that area. I'd also like to assist with what we're doing with the Emergo assets and their further promotion, what resolves of that. And then outside of those areas, supporting various committees with review and applications going forward.
Perfect. Thank you.
Concerning myself in 2025, well, I didn't learn much in 2025 on the open source committee, and we are closing now. But from the few sessions that I have attended, that I have seen, I am much aligned to the developer advocate environment because I was a developer advocate there, and I find myself more useful in that area, but I am open to learn other areas. I was placed on the court for us, committed to learn and grow in that area. The other area that I was, I think where you find there is a gap, you can just request me to learn and then fill that gap. I think I'll be of more use there. My interest in the Emuko resources, promoting them for the open source is very high. But at the moment, I don't know what is there. So 2026 come, I am expecting and requesting a lot of guidance from some of you who have been here for longer. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. I think we got through all of our committee members, so I definitely appreciate you all being vulnerable and sharing a little bit more here. I was just thinking through this some more and wanted to figure out how exactly I would broach this topic. The next one here is participation, and I would just abbreviate committee member to CM there. So I'm curious, I'd like to ask the committee at this point, if I were to set up a 15-minute check-in, I'd like to say at first on a weekly basis. Would that be something that you guys are willing to attend? And that would be primarily with myself, but both Christian and Elaine would be on that invite as well. Is that something that would work and kind of help everyone have a clearer focus?
So to understand, the idea is to have smaller one-on-one meetings where it's focused on each individual committee member talk through what they're doing and what their engagement in the documents, making sure that they know where the work is happening, how it's coordinated, the tools that we're using, how the voting works. So any questions that come up, that we have a space for each individual committee member, where we don't take up time during our meeting together, but we can really focus on the individual questions for each one. Is that kind of the idea here?
That's exactly the idea. Yeah. So most likely at the beginning of the week, so something like Monday or Tuesday at a time that makes sense for each of you as individual members. But just to check in to understand, hey, what is your expected level of commitment during the week, or even throughout the month, depending on how structured we can get those sessions. Just to really understand, hey, where are we getting support? Basically, what can we rely on as delivery from you as a committee member? And how does that fit or mesh within the suggested 20 hours a month that you'd be giving? So, but yes, again, the key points as you've highlighted here, aligning specifically to what is expected of you as a committee member, and giving you guys clear remits on how specifically you're contributing to each program or initiative here from the OSC.
I really like that idea, because there's so much going on, and I've already been here now for over a year, so I kind of know a bit of the history, and when we talk about something, I kind of can categorize it where it fits in with the things we have been talking about for a while. And I remember coming into the open source committee, it was very overwhelming at first. And even now, sometimes I don't know which document are we currently working on, what's the status of something. And so I think having those focused sessions where we talk about, okay, here's the thing I wanted to do this week, but I wasn't quite sure how to get into it. If we can resolve those in a small 50-minute check-in, I think that's a really good idea. And
Okay.
we don't need to do this in perpetuity. Maybe we do this for a month or two to and to build everyone up, and then we'll see where it goes from here.
Okay, give me just a second here. Sorry, I put the wrong thing. Okay, coming back. I wanted to give this to you guys as a link so you can actually click on it. Okay, so if I could just ask each committee member then to go ahead and visit my calendar link. Yes, the perpetuity thing is something that we can work out. I'll work that out with you guys individually. What I'm going to ask is within the first 2 weeks back in the year, if you guys can schedule a 30-minute session just as a kickoff. And then following that, whatever time you schedule your 30 minutes, just the next week, if you'll book a 15-minute, I believe I have that available as well. If I don't, then I'll adjust accordingly. But just go ahead and book a session in a time that makes sense for you all to your local times. And if you're having any calendar issues, then reach out to me directly via DM, but we'll get this set up. Christian.
Yeah, I was just going to add, I would do that for about a month and a half, just so everyone gets enough cadence and understanding behind the stuff. And then I think we can slowly move it to where it's a lot more async driven. Just because I know more meetings just kind of binds everyone down in the long run. But short term, I think it'll give us the sprint boost we need.
Full agreement. I'm not trying to book a 15-minute meeting with everybody for all of 2026. So, okay. I will be in your DMs the first week of January if I do not see you on my calendar. So I don't want to put too much pressure there, but please make sure that you find some time to go and book a slot. Okay. All righty. So next on the list here, I do have the developer advocate milestone acceptance form. So this is something that I am working on. I will go ahead and share the screen of kind of what I'm looking at right now, and I apologize to anybody if this is a lot. Right now I'm working through this column. I've already put about half of them here into the completed column, meaning I've verified those. I'm going to be going through the rest of these today, and then there's just a few hanging in the balance that that we're going to get moved over, I believe, by the end of the day, is my understanding. At any point, please do feel free to review these that are already in the done category, just to kind of give a double check, make sure that they've hit the milestones. If you want to leave a comment, you can. But really, if you're looking at anything right now in the next couple of hours, if you leave a comment on something that is still in the review category, that'll be something that I look at before I actually move it to done. And then I'm going to be writing up this report tomorrow. But just as a reminder here, this is the board for the developer advocates, and I will drop this in the chat here as well. And let's see. Yep, there you go. Thanks, Georg. One step ahead of me. So yeah, please do kind of save or favorite this link somewhere. This will be a continuous dashboard that they use. If you guys see here, Q1 and Q2 are already on here. Some of these appear repetitive, and some of these are just quarterly deliverables that they are expected to provide. Ones where they are different, there's going to be different explanations inside of each particular task or milestone here. So lots to review. If you guys have a comment, let's say on something that we have these IRL events. If you saw something in Q4 where you're like, maybe that could be a little bit stronger, feel free to come in here with each developer advocate. They are assigned accordingly. And you can leave specific advice or general advice for each and every one of them. I understand that this may feel like a lot, maybe just another tool to go and do something, but for this program in particular, this is where you're going to have the most opportunity to have some input. So I do really want to encourage your input here. So, yes.
This is what you'd mentioned last time we spoke, that you were looking for some help from the committee. Is that
correct?
Yeah. Okay. So can you open one of these so we can quickly in 1 minute do an overview of the kind of things you're looking for from the committee? I understand at a high level that where this is at now, but what level of feedback are you looking in each one?
So I don't have a specific level of feedback. I understand that specifics are helpful here. But really what it is it's just assessing, we put forth acceptance criteria. Was that acceptance criteria met? Or is there something more that the developer advocates can do? Something to keep in mind for Q4, there's a lot of stuff that is realistically being pushed through now. And there's a couple of other things that I'm going to be working on with them on in January, February, also with the support of Bernard and hopefully Uday as well, to really help them get just a little bit stronger. I think they're doing a really good job now, but there are ways that we can just really make this bulletproof. So some of those will already be in the works, but any additional feedback that you have that would support those initiatives, I would try and give an example here. I'm sorry.
So what I'm looking at this at a few examples right now. It's pretty straightforward. Each ticket has at the top a description of what the developer advocate is doing or expected to do, the acceptance criteria of what we said the outcome should be, so we know, yes, this is good. And then the developer advocates share the details of how they have met this milestone, this specific action. So it's each issue itself is self-contained to one activity. And so from a scope perspective, as a committee member, when I go in here, it's pretty straightforward on what I'm actually looking at.
Yes, yeah, and what we can do is we can bring it back to the committee meeting after we have those individual sessions. If you as a committee member feel more comfortable responding to just one type of milestone, then absolutely we can try to organize who's responding to what. But again, I really don't want to put too much pressure on a committee member being forced to respond to every different specific milestone. So the developer experience working group, yes, somebody could own that, but I don't want to force that as the only piece, and I don't want to exclude anybody else's input. So I would say look around and make sure, if there's another committee member who's commented, but there's one without a committee member comment, let's probably address the one that does not have a committee member comment. but if it's important enough that you need to comment, then please do so, because that helps improve the validity of the program. So, yeah, again, I understand specifics are really, really helpful, but I don't want to place too many guardrails, because there's a lot of experience and advice that can be provided from you all as committee members. So I want you guys to have the flexibility here. I'm just encouraging that we've set up the tools in a way that appears to be really, really helpful, or to be workable. And again, if it's not, we can discuss that as a specific topic in future committee meetings, so, or work sessions. Christian.
Yeah, the lens to do this, just to add clarity, is all our programs are taxpayer funded, quote unquote, based on transaction fees. So as long as you have that lens that you think that this was money well spent, that's the way to review it in accordance with the milestones. Because at the end of the day, it's committee signatures that are saying we approve these allocation of funds to these activities, etc. So just keep that in mind.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Yes. It would be also it would be helpful also for the developer advocates to briefly highlight to us their experience in 2025, their challenges, and then so that the moment I am aware of a challenge here, 1, 2, 3, then I can assist where I can assist. Others can assist also where I can assist, because it is our achievement, not at the last moment we are assigned to assess and review, and they were not given a chance, and we were not given a chance to also assist, help them achieve those outcomes very quickly, efficiently, and correctly. Thank you.
Okay. Bernard, if I may, could I ask you to maybe just take a lead on that? Drop a note to the developer advocates and collect that in a way that would make sense for you, to benefit them, right? So whether that's general or you want to do a specific form, that way we have something that we can hopefully action in Q1.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I'll keep it moving here. Cautious of time, we're getting towards the end, so wanted to do a ClickUp review here next, since we're already in ClickUp for the agenda. Just a big reminder here. We do have all of the programs. Last time that we met, we did go through some assignment of each committee member on various programs here. Again, nobody's assigned to the Summer of Code, because that one is going to be going back to the Treasury there. But for every other program, we do have different things that need to be done and will need to be done. I'm going to bundle this. Let me go back to the agenda here. I apologize. Hopefully I'm not giving anybody confusion. I'm going to bundle this with the program updates here, and some of that will include Q1 timelines. So as it stands from the top, maintain a retainer program. We just got a change request form, I believe, signed for dates on that, or rather, we were still getting the original contract signed. So the dates did change a little bit to where we have, I think, until the 15th or the 30th of January to actually get our maintainers officially selected and starting the program, so starting their 30-day cycle. Within that 30-day cycle, we will be getting our contract with Andamio signed and getting them onboarded to the Andamio platform. So we'll be working through those details, but also needing to do some additional socials to get more applicants for the maintainer retainer program, so that we have some work going for Q1 into Q2. Christian.
Yeah. The other thing too is we have talked to the applicants, and they know that their 30-day trial doesn't start till January. So that way there's no mismatch about using the holidays as kind of using that in their 30 days when there really wasn't a chance for valid activity for testing their culture fit. So just wanted to add that clarifying note as well.
Varun.
Yeah, is there anything preventing a developer advocate from applying for the maintainer retainer program?
I will leave that to a committee member to have some insight on. I believe previously we didn't want to mix that, but noting that we have had some, a low application volume, if that's something where you as a developer advocate feel that you would have the additional time to commit to that position, again, I'll leave a committee member out here to give input on that if they want to raise that. I believe we do have quorum if you guys want to take a vote.
So I don't know if we discussed it, or I don't remember exactly what we all discussed on this. So please, everyone, chime in with your perspective. The developer advocate program has the goal to bring people in and help the Cardano ecosystem absorb more contributors. The maintainer retainer is focused on specific repositories doing similar things, where it's about building out the infrastructure, building out the documentation, the processes in that repository, so that we can welcome, so that there's a synergy between the tasks, but they're distinct. And so for me, it would be a matter of availability of the candidate. So it's not just double dipping into our programs, but that there's actual work and outcome produced for the ecosystem.
Bernard?
I think we should look at it in terms of the community out there. How are they going to assess it, view it, accept it, reject it, criticize, or fight against some of these roles? In my opinion, I would say there shouldn't be anything that prohibits or bar anyone with a skill who would like to advance or move from one area to another. But I think the moment you have succeeded, you can make a choice to say, all right, I would prefer now to operate as a maintainer, retainer, and then you let go to avoid the conflict of interest. I'm not sure if I'm correct. You can correct me with that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Christian.
My 2 cents is the programs are in synergy, as Georg was saying and Bernard outlines, but it is community sentiment and getting across the, it's not just a cabal taking stuff, but in our defense, we do have stage gates to remove that look of collusion. And it's based on technical remit, and we are able to track quality metrics associated with the activities. So it's more of this short-term bad PR versus long-term game we might have to justify. But as long as the outcomes are there, the project teams agree, and things are going well, I think it's a small thing because we have 50 open slots for developer advocates. I think that's just a small pool anyway. Just my 2 cents.
So my addition here is to help the committee members in being able to decide whether or not this goes to a decision, but wanted to lay out some timelines here. If the committee were to decide to say, hey, this is okay, we have a way to minimize the potential impact, and that is because the developer advocate cohort runs for 9 months. So at the end of Q2, basically at the end of June, the developer advocates are no longer on contract for that specific program. As it stands, the maintainer retainer program would still be operating or accepting applicants at that time. Now, I'm not suggesting that they wait until they fully complete their developer advocate program before applying, but purely suggesting that they maybe not apply until the end of Q1, beginning of Q2. And you guys could make a decision on whichever one that is. If we say that it's the beginning of Q2, we have interviews that still need to be conducted, which can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And then there's the 30-day onboarding. So at best, right, or at worst, whichever way we look at it, that's 2 months of their last quarter that are eaten up by just deciding whether or not to accept them for the maintainer retainer program. Then that would be minimized to 1 month of overlap. If things are moving quickly or we decided to allow them to apply at the end of Q1, then again, we could be doing the interviews and their 30 days would start overlapping with the last quarter of the developer advocate program. So again, we're talking only 2 to 3 months worth of overlap there. So there's some different mechanics that way that really do minimize this, and then understand the maintainer retainer position, if selected, is for 1 year. So I get that that's a lot, but just wanted to give some framing around that.
Do we currently have any policy that would suggest developer advocates cannot apply for the maintainer retainer program?
No, it's all been backroom conversation and so an out of band conversation rather, and I believe it's been brought up once before in the committee sessions, but it was kind of just a hit and miss, hot topic, and moving on. So
yeah, the closest thing you'll find in written policy would be the OSC rules of engagement for the tooling working group, which is trying to minimize double spend, but the terminology has reviewed on a case-by-case basis. So even if that was to be stretched outside that remit, we still have coverage.
So are we then looking to make a positive statement and encourage developer advocates to become maintainer retainers?
it's a worthwhile trajectory. I know that I've discussed it with the developer advocates that after they've completed the program, that is a very feasible next step. They've demonstrated their ability to manage or maintain across various aspects of development, notwithstanding their own experience as a developer. So yeah, I mean, after the developer advocate program, as it stands right now, we're not allowing for that to be a continuous position or a reapplication. Yeah, I'll pipe down.
I'd like to hear from other OSC voting members.
From our side, I'm really not opposed to that. All depends on the quality of the work in each one of the roles. I think if the advocate can deliver on the work, the projects, the repositories need, and the source code of the projects need, I have no problem at all. I think we have that filter of evaluate the performance of the people at the end of, I guess, monthly, something like that. That could give us signals of the performance of the developer. If the person can do it with both roles, no problem at all.
I feel the maintainer retainer program is a key service Cardano in looking after the infrastructure, handover, takeover, transfer of skills, making it a little bit broad-based, going into the future, the stability of open source contributions. I think when I looked at the applicants, the ones that were interviewed, I think there were very few. So my question was this thing well advertised in the whole Cardano community to a point that a lot of people knew about it, so that tomorrow they can turn around and look at the funds to say you withdrew so much from the treasury, then you spent so much. But look, the maintainer retainer objectives were never achieved. So that is if anyone has a skill like the developer advocates we have can also contribute, because that is a very critical area on the Cardano roadmap. That is how I see it.
Does anyone wish to continue discussion towards a potential decision today or move this forward to 2026?
At 2026 is today.
Okay, so I will encourage everyone to grab your thoughts over the holidays here, but I will add this to the agenda when we come back so that we can remember the conversation.
I move to add to our documentation. I don't know where it would be appropriate that we encourage developer advocates to consider joining the maintainer retainer program towards the end of their term.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back into the programs here. If I go a little, I'm going to try to speak slowly so that this isn't too crazy on when you guys listen back. But I will encourage everyone to listen back so that you have a succinct update for where we are with each program here. The tooling sustainability program, this one we did have a change request form on. And bear with me because I'm going to read through, not in detail each one, but this one we did change the timelines here. So the scope I'm still going to work on shipping that by the end of this week to make sure that that's solidified. But the selection process, we did move that milestone to the end of January. And then the 5 projects accepted, the 5 tooling projects accepted by the open source committee is set for the middle of February. So we've got a little bit of time on that. The tooling working groups, I understand, is also going to go on hiatus here. So as we get back into it, it'll be some quick refinement on the selection process. And then between the middle of January, middle of February, we'll be making some decisions on actually accepting projects. And we can continue to make a decision on whether that is in meeting or asynchronous on those decisions. Okay. Moving forward here, the accelerator program, this contract is not yet written. We do envision writing that contract before the end of January. And there are some other programs, so I will leave that to the commercialization working group, which hopefully we can get a good start on, even with a potential change cadence in the new year. The bug bounty program, as soon as we return, we plan to establish the contract with TX Pipe so that they can start their 2-month period of developing the actual changes to the Get Honey tooling. So we should have
the contract was just sent out for signature, actually. So
okay.
Quick update.
Roger that. But that is with a start date of January the 5th, correct?
Yes, and it goes till March 5th. 2-month development timeline, but nothing prevents them from already integrating for the Code Forest program. We just need the Code Forest smart contract written to get that going.
Roger that. So that'll cover bug bounty and Code Forest there. We will get that Code Forest contract written as quickly as possible when we return as well. The developer advocate program, we spent quite a bit of time on this in this meeting, but basically they are concluding Q4 as of right now, which is their first quarterly milestone. That will provide payment for all of Q1, providing there are no other issues there. And so we'll look at delivery. That'll kind of be just move that ahead 3 months and we'll start this whole process again. But as a side task, if you don't know what to do, go and look at what any of the developer advocates have marked that they've already done within Q1 and provide some review or input. The security or incident manager, this is taken back to Intersect as of right now, but as you guys may be aware, we did discuss looking at a specific candidate for this. So those interviews are happening today and tomorrow, and we are looking to get somebody in that position quickly. We will hopefully have some updates by the new year as to kind of what all happened with that, but we won't have another meeting for a potential final decision on that. And again, that's shared right now between the committee as far as having designed out the position, as well as Intersect, who's going to have some staff management with that individual as well. Summer code, as we mentioned, again, we'll expect to see in January that we will provide a sign off on sending those funds back to the Treasury. Project support services will be another one that we'll need to draft by hopefully the end of January, figure out exactly what we're going to be doing with that program. There have been a number of different ways that we've talked about potentially utilizing the funds that are there, but the primary focus is still to provide support to projects. So if that is something that you have been assigned to or something that you have some input on, please consider that for the new year. I'll try to get some work sessions up specifically for the contracts that are not yet drafted. The last one is travel here. This one is kind of just operating on its own, but there is a milestone coming up where I do need to finalize events for Q1. We may be late on this here because I don't think I have a complete list, but definitely over the holidays and by the time we come back, please make sure that you have a list of any events that you as a committee member would like to attend. Keep in mind not only your personal professional development, but also how that's going to benefit the committee, the open source strategy, and so on. We do understand that there's numerous events, again, whether that be local to you or requiring you to travel quite a bit. Please just let us know and file that in the tracker. If you guys are looking and click up when you see the open source space here, there is the OSC events travel form, which you should be able to see. And then simply you'll be able to click on this here to add a response to the form. So you'll just indicate who you are attending the event, the name of the event, the date that it's happening, obviously location as well, detail. But this is super, super important because it is tied to a milestone. So please let us know what your plans are for Q1 if you'd like to be attending an event. Okay. Sorry, going back to the list here. One last clarification on the open source travel. This is, as of right now, it's a notification, but if there are issues, we're more than happy to discuss it. As we were experiencing our first payouts from the travel budget, we ran into a situation where there may be additional fees incurred by the recipient of those funds based upon the method in which they are receiving those funds. What happened is that an invoice was submitted to cover those fees. There's plenty of room in the budget to afford for this, but just want to put that back to the committee. If that's something that the recipient should be expected to handle, then we can make a decision for future reimbursements. If that's something the committee is okay to handle, then we will continue business as usual, where in this case, we accepted paying the fees because there's plenty of room in the budget. It did not put the estimated cost for that event over the threshold. And it's just very simple. So I'm keeping that redacted intentionally there. Does anybody have questions? Bernard.
Yeah, I would like to find out some time back, we discussed about open source and partnerships. Was that something that faded away, or it is now belonging to another committee? I'm asking this because I am the ambassador for South Africa, and in the ambassador channels there, I requested for support and assistance to go and support our stablecoins in Africa Stablecoin Summit that took place in Johannesburg. They gave me some references, but they were not ready for that. And I attended it. And after attending it today, They've put me, I see on their WhatsApp, they've created an Africa WhatsApp for this Africa stable coins. And then I was thinking, when I was a developer advocate, we had this trying to grow the community also via partnerships. That is the reason why I'm asking. Thank you.
Yeah, so partnerships are primarily going to be through the open source office, but it is something that we do have as a tasking or a milestone with acceptance criteria under the developer advocate program. So I would say that we can pick that up in one of the one-on-one sessions or a separate work session on partnerships as an initiative as we go into 2026. But again, the partnerships would primarily be an open source office function. The committee is mainly just signing off on the actual program management piece here and program delivery piece. So. Okay. That is our time for today. So this is effectively the end of the open source committee meeting. If anybody has questions, I can probably stay on for a few minutes here. If nothing, then I will see you all in the new year. But thank you. Big thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Everybody. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.